So there's a question, I think, related to the meditation. If I am observing everything like a detached observer and there is a fire breakout, then do I keep observing? Okay, so you see, if there is a fire breakout, the fire will not tell you, come and extinguish me in this manner. It is you who will decide that. And how will you decide that? If you are first a detached observer, then your intellect will work and you will be able to decide what to do. I will tell you one incident from my childhood. So I was once walking and going somewhere, and I don't know whether that happens now also, but at that time there used to be these in the middle of the road there would be a train passing, and they would manually close the gates for that. And sometimes the person who is on duty will forget, and then somebody is crossing and then a train would be approaching. So I remember that it was such an incident, and I saw the train coming. I was on the track, and then there was enough time. The train had not come here. It was in a distance. But when I saw the train, I froze. And I couldn't move from there. And I kept standing on the track. And luckily somebody pulled me from there. And then that day went like that. So you see, when you are not in your senses, when you have not practiced being a detached observer, then just like you gave the example of a fire breakout, if you are not in your senses, if you are not in your state of peace, then the fear or the effect of the situation will consume you so much that you will not be able to come up with what to do. And especially in the case of fires, there are so many incidents that this happens also, that there's a fire extinguisher and nobody thinks about using it, even if they know how to use it. I've seen in offices where we've been trained to use the fire extinguisher. There also, if there's a fire, then out of 20 people in the office, 18 wouldn't even think about using the fire extinguisher. They get so panicked. And it would be one or two maybe, or luckily if there's somebody. So that is the thing. So when you observe and don't absorb, then you use your intellect and respond. And when you absorb the vibrations or the energy of what's happening around you, then you tend to react. And reactions come from a place of emotional instability, not from a place of, concerted thought, or, thought that has been given some due thought. So if you are not an observer, then you will react, and that reaction will not do good to the situation. More often than not, it usually messes up the situation more. So yes, be an observer, okay? And then today Baba talks about, since there are some new souls also have come, so I understand that everybody struggles with waste thoughts. And even after years of practice, waste thoughts is something that we are not able to overcome. So Baba says that Brahmins with a lot of practice, they overcome negative thoughts, but waste thought, they are not able to overcome very easily. And in the later years, in Avyakt Vanis, Baba always kept talking about winning over waste thoughts. And how do you win over waste thoughts? So now you see that, have you noticed that waste thoughts consume you or trouble you when you're free? Yes, I remember there's this one Kanya, and she comes to the center, and her mother used to keep worrying about her, and she didn't like the fact that she was coming to the center. So every day she would call her, pester her, and every day she would keep, troubling her. Why are you going? Don't go. I told you not to go. She's studying here. So the mother doesn't have physical control over her. So she would keep doing that. Now, all of a sudden, her mother stopped, pestering her. So she would call, and just for 1 minute, she would ask, "How are you? All good? And did you eat and all stuff?" So then she told me one day, "My mother is these days not asking me these questions." So I said, "Why your mother? Why is it so? Did your mother receive some knowledge or what?" So she said, "No, no, Didi, it's my brother's marriage, no. So she's busy." So now she's busy in his marriage. So it'll take 6 months. So now she'll be busy, and after that she will start thinking about me. What am I doing? Where am I going? So you see that waste thoughts. If you look at it, it's very simple. Waste thoughts come from an idle mind. When the mind is idle, then waste thoughts come and fill it. And Baba says, Baba has given us the method of conscious thinking. And conscious thinking is filling your mind purposefully with pure, elevated, high vibration thoughts, so that A, your mind is busy, and B, it is powerful. And when your mind is busy and powerful, then it will not be invaded by waste thoughts. So even if there is a waste thought, you will be able to transform it. You will be able to change it into a productive thought. Now, the interesting thing is that before we came to Baba, we did not have any access to pure and elevated thoughts. So, in the world, what is a waste thought? Thinking about things you can't control. Yes, basically, past, future, and other. And before we come to Baba, our only, the range of our intellect is only limited to people, places, and things, past and future, and that which we can't control. Yes, so what would you think about? So if you ask somebody, don't think waste thoughts, then what would they think about? There was no option, because your whole world is full of situations and people and behaviors and events that happen in the past and things in the future which you have no control over. So when that's your world, then there is no option to not think about waste thoughts. But when we come to Baba, then Baba enlarges our world. Yes, so Baba calls this shifting from had to behad. So Baba says, I move your intellect from limited to unlimited. And then you have knowledge about yourself, you have knowledge about Baba, you have knowledge about the certain past and the certain future. Yes, that which is definitely going to happen. You have knowledge about the soul world. You have your knowledge about your home. You have your knowledge about Baba, which is all certain. It's in your control. Yes, so if you if you are connecting to the ocean of peace, you will receive peace. It's not an idea, it's certain, because that's the law, that's how it operates. So Baba says, keep thinking about or keep creating positive and elevated and pure thoughts, and fill your mind with that. Fill your mind with, um, what is my original nature, or what was I like in Satyug, or what is my Baba like, what is my home like. And even when you are in the midst of situations or behaviors, there also change your waste thoughts into elevated thoughts. Now you see, it's quite interesting that, for example, take a situation when somebody is behaving inappropriately with you, then you start worrying about how long this behavior will continue. Yes, then you just start thinking about, how much more do I have to endure this? So this is a waste thought. Now that's not in your control. You don't have any answer to that. So if you keep thinking about it, you will only, upset yourself or deplete your energy. So instead of that, transform and create an elevated thought that this soul is changing, and Baba is, giving his light and might to this soul, and make that soul sit in Baba's lap. So even in the face of situations, if you think about what you can't control, and if you, so the tone in which waste thoughts emerge is, what will happen, what will I do, how will I deal with this, what if it gets worse. Yes, so these are waste thoughts. Or, had I not done this, this wouldn't have happened. Or worrying about the future, these are waste thoughts. So Baba says, whenever you have a waste thought, change it into an elevated thought. Yes, I remember there was this one brother, and he said, my brother, he did not take care of my parents. So he's the elder brother, but he left and he did not take any responsibility. And I took my parents' responsibility. And he said, it's not like I don't have the resources or the strength to take care of my parents, but I always feel that I'm taking care of this responsibility because my brother washed his hands off. So I feel like a victim. And he said, this thought, this feeling doesn't leave me. It always feels like, this was not my burden to carry. He said, I'm being very honest with you. I'm not, so everybody should take care of their parents, but I feel like this was not my burden to carry, and my brother just didn't do his due, so I'm doing it. And that's why I feel like a victim. And every time these thoughts emerge, or my wife starts saying, or my children start saying that we cannot go for holidays because grandfather is sick or grandmother is sick, so I always feel that I was used, and I was something wrong happened to me. So I told him, I just asked him one question. I asked him, if it was possible for your brother to leave that duty and do whatever he felt like doing, was it not possible for you? So just question yourself and ask. So he said, yes, that anybody can do anything. So I said, yes. So you had an option. Yes, don't go into morality. Just think about, this, you also had an option. So this is not something that you're doing because of your brother. This is a choice you've made. This is a choice you've made, and because of this choice, you are earning blessings. Yes, but ask yourself, are you earning blessings? Because if you're fulfilling your duty just crying and whining, And of course, if you're thinking so much, it's not like you are always polite to your parents also. Sometime or the other, you are also saying that, this is a burden or something. So are you earning blessings? So he said, no, I don't think so. So I said, you see, you are doing something which could make you earn blessings. And you see, Baba says, when parents grow old, then there is a karmic account associated in that relationship. So if, without compromising your spiritual journey, if you are able to take care of them and you are able to finish that karmic account, there's nothing like it. So I told him, so just because of that lack of acceptance, that this is a choice, this is not an obligation. If it's not an obligation on the part of the elder brother, it's not an obligation on the part of you. It's a choice you've made. And be proud of your choices. So when you're proud of your choice, you embrace the choice you've made, then you will be very happy. You will be happy about, even the adjustments that you do, because you're doing it by choice. So then he said, I never thought like this. So I said, you see, this is how you transform. Waste thoughts can be transformed by sowing the seeds of elevated and pure thoughts. So, instead of thinking this is a burden, this is a problem, think of it as seva. I told him, you see, we are those children who have no karmic accounts right now from our Lokik family, because we have settled them, we are free from that. But we are still inviting people and giving them gyan and taking care of them. So why are we not feeling burdened? Because we are doing it as seva. So if you have the attitude of seva, then your thoughts become pure and positive. So thoughts have their seed in attitude and awareness. So when you have the awareness that everybody is a soul, when you have the attitude of seva, then every thought will become pure and elevated. And in that situation, you will not have waste thoughts. Yes, so if you have, even with regard to the past, so Baba has told us that your past is not limited to the few years that you remember. Your past is much longer than that. So you were a deity, you ruled, then you built temples, and now you're here. So Baba says, when you start thinking about something about in your past that you regret, then just think about all the good things you did. Yes, and again, the most positive thought to be free from the past, regret of the past, is whatever happened, I met Baba because of that. So because of this whole journey, now I belong to Baba. So with these, you can finish the waste thoughts. And even when, waste thoughts arise because of some loss or something, and then you start blaming somebody for it or some situation for it, then also create elevated and pure thoughts that, if you're blaming somebody for some loss, then create thoughts about how much they've contributed rather than how much they have made you, in loss. They have put you into loss. So usually, when some loss happens, we just focus on the loss. But how much have they contributed, or how much, they are an asset about that if you calculate, then all your waste thoughts will finish. I remember there was this one brother, and he said that my sister's son used to live with us, and he used to work with my business. And for 20 years, he worked with me. And last month, he eloped with 5 lakhs rupees. He just stole that and he left. So I told him, and for 20 years, he was an unpaid labor, right? So you didn't pay him, right? So he said, I paid him, but of course, what you are saying is right. I did not pay him as much as he should have been paid. So I said, just sit and calculate how much you saved and how much you lost. So then he started laughing. So I said, why are you coming and telling me he stole 5 lakhs rupees? Of course, you didn't compensate him well. So he will, that whatever you don't, whatever wrong you do, you will have to pay for it in some way or the other. So he ran away. And where did he run away? He will go to your sister's place someday or the other. But then you see, why are you not able to take this up with him? Because it's not limited to this 5 lakhs rupees. There are other issues also. For 20 years, lot has transpired between you and him. So he said, yes, if you look at it that way, yes, of course, I'm not in loss. So you see, so much when you focus on the right now, then so much you feel. But if you look at the bigger picture, then there is no loss. So Baba says that waste thoughts will emerge if you don't consciously, and this intellect is a very rusted vessel. You have to understand. For the last 63 births, we have not done any conscious thinking, no deliberate choice making, nothing. So we have just lived like slaves. We've just, whatever is happening, we've just felt it, consumed it, been reactive to it. So this is the way we have lived for the last 63 births. So now, if you want this intellect to work and create pure and positive and elevated thoughts in situations, you have to otherwise, move this rusted vessel. All the time, keep engaged in conscious thinking about your form of a soul, your qualities, about Baba, about your journey of 84 births. If you keep doing this, then this intellect will sharpen. And when it sharpens, then it will be able to come up with some, yukti, how to change the waste thought into an elevated one. Okay, this is one thing. Then Baba today says that Baba has come to make us elevated. So, although, when we come to Baba, we feel our aim is, just to feel better or get rid of some problems that we are facing or be a little powerful. But this study has a higher purpose. Yes, and if something can be used for something bigger, then using it for something smaller is like misusing it. Yes, so Baba says that with this study, you can have the highest status in the new world. You can have 21 births of, purity, peace, happiness, health, wealth, everything. But do we study with that aim? How many of you study with that aim? Yes, so that aim has to be constantly there. And Baba says, then Baba today is talking about what are the precautions that we have to take so that we get a high status. So first thing Baba says is, there is a song in the Murli today, you are my mother, father, brother, sister, teacher, Satguru. So you remember you used to sing this song for Baba, Tum Mat Pita Bandhu Sakha. Yes, so Baba says that have all relations with me. If you want to have a high status in Satyug, belong to me. Yes, don't just devote 1 hour to me or, 2 hours, 3 hours to me. Belong to me. Yes, and in this world of private and personal space, this is a very interesting thing. So, earlier people used to have this capacity to belong to somebody. Yes, parents belong to children. Yes, the wife belonged to the husband. It was earlier like that. So, that was the world. You never thought apart from that. But these days, that total surrender is very rare. Yes, because these days, even in the relationship of a husband and wife, you will say, I need my privacy, I need my space, or children are seeking privacy, parents are seeking privacy from children. So these are new things that have come up. So Baba says, have the capacity to belong to me whole and soul. And that is what will make you take the full inheritance from me. And what does belonging to Baba mean? In any second of the day, also, Baba says, don't forget my directions. Always, commit to my directions. Just like, when the child is little, the child doesn't know that, now the parent is watching, now the parent is not watching. So now I can do what I like, and in front of the parents, I have to do what they like. So when the child is small, he doesn't have that, that cleverness. So the child, if the parents have instructed, I remember if my parents would tell me that, you have to sit here and study for the next 3 hours, I would study with full dedication, as if somebody is watching, even if they are not there. But later, you learn these things that, if they are not watching, then don't do what they say. So Baba says that now you have to learn to follow Srimat at every step in every second of the day. So whatever Baba has directed me to do, I do it. Yes, so it's not that just when you are, and of course those who are attending online, so we can't watch you. Yes, and some are not even putting on the camera. So what can I do? I can tell 100 times, but apart from that, I can't even tell more than that. So you see, you have to have this awareness that Baba has come for me and Baba is watching me always. And I have to always, I belong to Baba, so I have to do what Baba says. And when you do that, then Baba says that you will claim a high status. Yes. So if it's 3:30 or 4 in the morning, you have to get up. Yes, whether you are living in a center, living at home, living alone. I remember there was this one Mata, and she was living in her household, and everybody used to object about her coming to class. So in that household, she would get up early in the morning every day because she had to set an example. And then she got posted somewhere else. She was on duty, she was working. So there she lived alone and she slept in Amrit Vela. So she said, Didi, earlier everybody was watching, so I had to live up to, this image that I'm a good BK, and, not anybody pointing fingers at me and Baba. So I used to get up in the morning, and then when I was posted differently, I slept. So you see that there is so much of, this intellect is full of so much rubbish that we don't know from where it emerges. So Baba says, at all times of the day, so there's a time for sleeping, there's a time for getting up, there's a time for listening to Murli, there's a time for, there's a method of how to remember Baba, there's a method of what you should eat, how you should eat, or, how you should see, how you should talk, listen. And Baba says, whatever I tell you, you just do that. Then you get a high status. And then Baba Second point Baba says is have love for the family. So those who have love for Baba have love for Baba's family, and the whole world is Baba's family. And especially Baba's children who recognize Baba. So Baba says those who have love for me, they will always serve the world. Spiritual service should be constant. Yes, then Baba says don't follow the dictates of your own mind. Yes, so if you're asked to switch on the camera, switch on the camera. If you're asked to participate in class, participate in class. Yes, why? Because if you follow the dictates of your own mind, you will not be able to get a high status. Because these directions are not given for my upliftment, they are given for your upliftment. If you're asked to every day read the Murli, read the Murli. Yes, if you're asked to attend the class every day, attend it. If you're asked to eat pure food, have pure food. So those who don't mix their own dictates of the mind with Baba's dictates, they claim a high status. I remember, there was this one sister, she had great love for Baba. But when she made a rule, I will read the Murli only 5 days a week, and on weekends I will take an off. And that she did on her own, and she continued for 5 years, let me tell you that. But after that she was gone. Because when Baba says Murli every day means Murli every day. And you don't know why Baba says that, because Baba says this is the bare minimum you need in order to finish the whole burden of sins that you're carrying and create the account that you need so that you can go forward. So Baba says don't mix your own dictates with Baba's dictates, whatever you're directed to do. If you're directed to attend a 4-hour bhatti, attend 4 hours. And if you have the determination, you will be able to attend it. There will be no limitation for a child who is determined. So never, we try to act smart. We try to think that we know more than the one who is teaching us. No, we don't know more than that. So this is one thing that Baba says. Then Baba says, be very clean and honest. Yes, be very clean and honest with Baba. So there are 2 words, safai and sachai. So first comes safai, then sachai. So if you're not clean within, you can't be honest. Because you see, if suppose you are looking at a picture and you say, this is dirty, okay, then I question, no, this is a clean picture. Then you would say, no, it's dirty, because the lens through which you're seeing is dirty. So if you're saying this is dirty, then of course you are not speaking dishonestly, you are saying the truth. But because your lens is tainted, you will see a clean picture as unclean. So Baba says that's why it's first important to clean your lens before you speak about honesty. Because when we say honesty, everybody is honest, but because there is no cleanliness inside, there is ego, there is anger, there is trauma. So if you don't clean it with yoga, fill your heart with love and light from Baba, then what happens is that unclean state, it doesn't allow you to even recognize where you are going wrong. And then you are saying that, yes, I'm completely honest, but honest to the best of your knowledge and ability. So Baba says, make an effort to become clean. And how do you clean yourself? If you have yoga with Baba, you will clean yourself. So these are some of the things that Baba talks about in regard to claiming a high status. And Baba is not here for a limited gift. Baba is going to give us the gift of heaven, but only if you pay attention to what Baba says. Okay, Om Shanti. Anybody wants to share anything, please do.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
What I have understood today is that in body consciousness, we are always feeling some kind of loneliness, emptiness, and which cannot be filled without the use of karmendriyas.
Correct.
Because that pattern, old pattern, is very dominating.
Correct.
And without making some special efforts, extra efforts, we can't reach our aim.
Yes. Yes.
It's not so easy, and we have to seriously take efforts for this, but with light mindset.
Yes. So you see, so what you're saying is we have been doing for 63 births. So now just to be is a task.
Yes.
But our original nature is being. But to go back to that, you have to burn your sins. And that,
when we are in soul consciousness and enjoying our being, then we are so relaxed.
Yes, yes. Because
Very
that's
light.
the natural state. Yes.
Yes, Didi.
Of course. Yes. Thank you.
Continuous efforts will bring that
Yes.
constant remembrance.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Om Shanti. Yes.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
What you're today, what I learned was about. I mean, we have been learning throughout reading Murli and with Murli Mantra and the art of conscious thinking.
Yes.
Which we were not aware of also before.
Yes.
And I remember in one of your Murli Mantra classes, you had said that with knowledge, you clean up your conscious mind, and with remembrance, you clean up your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind is full of garbage, which we have been absorbing throughout the 63 births. So this has been my learning, and always I keep in mind this learning.
Yes.
That we have to clean both our conscious and the subconscious mind.
Yes. That's why Gyan and Yoga both are very important subjects.
Very important.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Om Shanti. Yes. Anybody else? Anji.
Shanti Didi.
Om Shanti.
Didi, I would just like to share with the sisters and brother sitting here that when I visited the Yoga Bhatti, so Didi, every time till date I've attended it online, and this was the first experience when I was there in person. I felt so blessed that I attended, and I'm so happy. Even after 2 days today, the state of my mind is so calm.
Yes.
Didi, when you're sick and you need to be hospitalized, that state is like that nothing else is working, and you need to be hospitalized, and then you have a rush of energy in you. It is the same state today, because past 20 days I had been so busy. Even though continuing my online class, Amrit Vela and Murli, I never missed it. But then also I felt I was so tired and I had a loss of energy. But just with that couple of hours of the Yoga Bhatti, that energy is replenished today.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Didi.
Yes. Thank you. Om Shanti. So you see, having everyday yoga is very different from Yoga Bhatti, because when you have continuous yoga, now you see, even when you sit online, it's not with full attention that we do the whole 4 hours Yoga Bhatti. But when you are, in the center, then obviously for 4 hours, if you move your eyes also will watch you. So that attention is there. So that gives a different result. So I welcome everybody. So whenever there are Yoga Bhattis, there are announcements made. So if you can come and join, that would be great. Okay.
So when the previous night when I was going to sleep, like I had that conscious thought in my mind that I have to sleep very early and I have to sleep peacefully today, so that I do not feel sleepy tomorrow. But never in online bhakti I have taken this effort.
Yes, yes. So that's because we don't pay attention. Now you will be able to do that online also. Okay.
Exactly.
Om Shanti.
Thank you, Didi.
Thank you. Yes. Hanji. Om Shanti.
Didi, today Baba has told us that that He has come to make us elevated. And for that, we have to take many precautions to claim that high status.
Correct.
And the first point is that we have to belong to Baba. That means we have to completely belong to Baba. We cannot devote this 1 hour or 2 to 3 hours to Baba, or to only limited to class, but we have to belong to Baba, which means that every second of the day we have to follow Srimad or committed to the Baba's directions.
Yes.
And because Baba is watching us always.
Yes.
And third point is we have to have love for the family, and the family means the whole world, and plus those who recognize Baba also.
Yes.
We are our family, and we have to follow dictates of Baba, and we cannot mix Manmat with Baba's Mat, with Srimad.
Yes.
And last is that we have to be very clean and honest. So
Yes.
Safai and Sachai both is needed, but first is cleanliness, and then we can be honest to Baba.
Correct.
Thank you, Devi.
Yes. And love for the family means seva.
Seva, yes.
So
Yes,
when you have love for the family, you have attention on seva. Okay.
Yes.
Om Shanti.
Shanti.
Hanji Nirmal Bhai. Hanji. Please unmute and speak. Hanji.
Om Shanti.
Om
Yeah,
Shanti.
and today Baba said that when we are faced with an adverse situation in front of us, Baba said you make the Father as your companion. When you have the Father as your companion, you have some special power with you.
Correct.
When you have special power, then you are victorious.
Yes.
And he also is a Karan Karavankar, but he says that he is a one who acts and he works through others. Therefore, that's the main aspect of Karan Karavankar.
Yes.
Yeah, Om Shanti.
Correct. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Thank you.